What's up? It's Jazz here. I'm back. I'm going to talk about just sending crypto pretty much out of an exchange. Generally, all of them are the same. I'm going to do it for XRP because it's instant and the cheapest, and I'm just going to do like a little demo real quick of how it works and let you see just the whole process go down from beginning to end. So let's kind of get started here and go over to my famous web view. So, this applies to both Coinbase and Binance, but I have XRP sitting in Binance right now, and enough of it that I'm willing to kind of mess around and send it out and in, or enough and not enough, I should say, the right amount. But it applies to both. This process is the same. If I go to my XRP wallet on Coinbase, whether it's on my phone or not, it doesn't matter. You do a send and receive. So like if I this right here is my address on Coinbase. I want to just quickly explain a tag. All right. If you own your own wallet, all right, think of your own wallet as like your own home. Like you own a home and you have your own address to your home. And it's just an address. One line, address one on anything. You just put your address and that's the end of it. All right. An exchange is more like an apartment. And this is the address to the apartment, and then you have to have an address to your apartment number. So, like, you have the address to the apartment, and then it's like apartment D or apartment 203. I don't know, just whatever. That's essentially your apartment number. So that's the address for all Coinbase people, and that's your number as your unique identifier for your XRP account on the exchange. If you do not have an account on an exchange and you hold your own, like you're on Ledger or you're on Zoom, then you're not going to have a tag. You don't need to worry about this, and you just send it to the address. So if you hold your own account, it's more like a home. You have an address. And if you hold your account on an exchange, then you're going to have, it's more like an apartment, and you're going to have like an address plus an apartment number, which is your tag number. But all you do is just take the address and you plug it in to where you want to send it to, and if they have a tag or not. So if you're sending it to another exchange, then you're going to have a tag. But if you're not sending it to another exchange, then you don't need to do anything with this. You can just leave it blank. I know it's scary. Don't worry about it. You can leave it blank. And then you just say continue and go through the verification process. And to kind of give you a better look at it, I'm about to do this. Don't worry. On Binance. But if I just want to say, like, I want to send 500 XRP and I want to send it to this address right here, which we're about to actually send money to this address right here, feel free to send money to this address. I will never argue with it, never be upset with you for that. And then I want to send it to this coin. If I actually had it, it would say continue. I press continue, and then it's like, hey, you have to go through your authenticator process, and then I would have to put in the little authenticator number, and then it would send it on and be done with it. But let's do it for real. All right, so I've got wallets over here. Let's go over to my XRP wallet, and let's say withdrawal. All right, so XRP right here. I want to withdraw it. You can see that I have 1,093 coins. Over here I have set up is this is an old account that I have that just holds the reserve minimum, and that's it. And I did some trading on here, but I've actually moved all of this onto the ledger now because I just bought a ledger, and I'm bittersweet about it, and I'll do another video about that. But this, I tried to hook up my ledger to my streaming desktop or computer here, and it just wouldn't connect right, and I just want to deal with it later, and I really don't even want to hook it up to this computer. So mainly I'm talking, but you can set up add account, and you can say ledger device and connect ledger. And if you have your ledger connected to your computer, then you'll have you'll have yours pop up here. You say connect, and you open up the XRP app on your ledger device, and you give it access, and it essentially will sign over and give xrptoolkit.com, which is what this site is. And I'll put this on the description as well. But then you can do this is like an account manager. That's the way you need to see XRP Toolkit. It allows you to manage an account on the XRP ledger. And if you have if you have a Ledger Nano or a Ledger, S or a Ledger X or whatever, then you hold your own keys and you own your own account. It's your account. Well, you can let XRP Toolkit, control and have temporary access to that, address that you held, and it can kind of do things for you. Send, receive, it could do some DEX trading, stuff like that. But in the end, this is a good way to show you how instant this is. So I can take this address. That's the address for this account for on the ledger that I was using for a while. That's the XRP public address. That's technically what it is, the XRP public address. There's always a public address and a private address. The private address is a key. It's like a password. You don't want anybody to ever know it. That's what unlocks this whole account and lets you do things with it. Then there's the public address, which is just what everybody can see. It doesn't matter, and that's just for people to send and know who you are. That's like your name. I always look at public addresses as your username and a secret key as your password. So username and password comes with every account. All right, so I want to receive, so I'm going to copy this address right here, and I want to say over here in Binance, I'm going to withdraw, and I'm going to withdraw XRP and the recipient's address, which is the address that I just had over there in XRP Toolkit. All right, this is one of my Zoom accounts technically. Memo would be the tag, but I don't need it because I own this. If it was going to another exchange like Coinbase, if I was sending it to Coinbase, then I would use this account, and this would be the memo. This would be the tag that I would end up putting in, all right, if I wanted to send it over to Coinbase. And then how much do I want to send? I'm going to send 50. Oh, I forgot that part of the keyboard does not work. I'm going to send 50. Another price gouging me on that transaction fee. That is not the real transaction fee. That is a hiked up transaction fee for XRP. This would be like 0.000012 or some crap like that. So I'm really going to end up getting, let's do like, can I do 2.5? There we go. I got a little extra. I got 7.2 over here, so whatever. It's not even a full coin. I'm trying to help you guys out. So it's part of the process of teaching and learning is maybe spend a little extra cash. It's unfortunate because I don't know, I just get mad about the fact that they do that because that's really not what the price should be. That's not a real transaction fee. It would be much, much cheaper than that. So I want to send to this address, which is that offline address, which could just be your ledger. You just go onto your ledger, you open up the XRP app, and get your account. You click on receive. It gives you a little QR code, just like you saw over here. QR code with an address to it. Don't worry about the tag, 'cause you don't need that. And then you just get that, and you plug it in right over here. You tell it how much you want to send, and then you just say submit. I'm going to have it send that message to me. I just got it. Let's go ahead and put that code in. And this is the verification process, and this is being sent to my phone right now. So this is the number I got. I mean, you can try to use this number. It won't do you any good. Oh, God. I hate when it does that. 0436220. That number changes constantly all the time. I got to go to my email and now verify. All right. Well, I'm going to pull that over here to where you can't see it, because I don't want you to see my personal email, but I'm going to go to my email, and I'm going to verify this right now. That's a double verification. Confirm withdrawal. An email was in there, so I just confirmed the withdrawal. And now so you can see what I'm talking about. Withdrawal order submitted. Go to withdrawal history, all right? Now, when you're going out of exchanges, it may take a little longer because they have to actually initiate and do the transfer. But once it's all done and said, it'll get sent over, and you'll see it over here in your XRP account over here. I mean, it just depends. I mean, it could be already in there. It's not already in there right now. So it's still being sent out from over here. And if you go look at withdrawal, deposit and withdrawal history, withdrawal type, crypto, there it is. There's the address, processing status. See, so what that means is that, let me make sure that I have everything set up right over here. What that means is that the exchange Binance has not actually sent that made that transaction happen yet. So it's really just sitting around and waiting on Binance's part to say, hey, all right, let's go ahead and initialize this and make it happen. There's also BitHump right here, and you can take this address, which we already have copied, but we can copy this little address. Say copy. Processing. So now it's giving me no, it doesn't have a transaction ID yet. So once the transaction takes place, you can have a transaction ID, but you can say paste, come over here, see the current status and transactions. So there was a transaction a couple days ago, minus 20. We sent 20 out. So nothing's happened yet. They still are processing this right now. And it may take a moment. I mean, you got to kind of just let it go for a second. If I was sending it from wallet to wallet, like if I was going from a ledger wallet to a ledger wallet, or I was going from a see, there's the deposits completed, how much I put in there. If I was going from wallet to wallet, like a ledger to a ledger, or Zoom to ledger, or something like that, a privately owned wallet, it would be instant. I mean, it would be instant. It happens instantly. There's no real, if I send it to myself, by the time I switch over to the other app, it's already there. The only reason you have any hiccup is because they're the ones that have not sent it yet. They're the ones at Binance that haven't authorized the transaction to actually take place yet. So they're kind of this is the whole thing about an exchange. They're centralized, controlled businesses and companies that ultimately hold and contain and control your XRP. So that 50 XRP is now just sitting and waiting right now and being processed by Binance to get sent. And the moment it gets sent, you'll see it over here. But I don't even want to, do anything because it doesn't matter as long as that is still processing. Then there's nothing I can do about it. I don't really know. I kind of forgot that this happens. It's not very often that I send and receive things in and out of an exchange. I wish it would happen while I was actually streaming this. I don't want to sit here forever. This could take a little while. But that's generally how it goes. I mean, you're witnessing the wait process just like me, all right? So when things like this take place, you just got to kind of be patient, and most people freak out. They don't know what to do. Remember, there's always, when you're doing withdrawals and you're in your wallet, there's a deposit and withdrawal history. This is really important because when you do this and you don't see your XRP or your crypto, especially Bitcoin takes forever. So even once it says sent, it's still going to take 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes it just depends. It really does. Sometimes it's like 5 minutes, but it could take a lot longer. Ethereum as well. So the process could go on for a long, long time. Once they say they've sent it, it pretty much is done for XRP. It's a really quick process. The real hiccup is that when you get in this oh man, it's not in my account, what's going on, I don't know where it is, well then you got to kind of go track it down, and that's by going on to a deposit and withdrawal history. Some kind of withdrawal history is what you're looking for. You're looking for this withdrawal history, and then that way you can see, and remember I had to click on not fiat, withdrawal, crypto, and not deposit, withdrawal. So I had to make sure all of this is checked and clicked. And then you can see at the time and date what I was doing. Oh, boom, we've got a transaction ID. So I can click on this transaction ID, and it takes me right back to the same website that I was already at. You can just put the transaction ID right into here, or you can click on it right there. And now it's saying, oh, all right, we see that there's a payment made from Binance to this destination wallet. It's going to be 50 XRP. This was the fee that you ended up paying for that, and the transaction was successful. So that means that when I come over here, boom, there it is, 75 XRP, and we are done. That whole process is taken care of. And then you can probably see if I do this will probably change. If I go crypto, withdrawal, it still says processing, but ultimately it doesn't matter anymore because it's in my account now. and it's out over here. So if I were to refresh this, you'll see this now. I looked up my address on BitHump. This is just a ledger, kind of, an XRP Explorer. I like the way they said that. It just explores XRP accounts. So you can literally look up anybody's account, anybody's username, anybody's public address, any transaction ticket or whatever, and search it and see they've got 75 XRP. You can see the last transaction that took place of 50 from Binance US. And there's that same transaction hash. If I click on it, it's going to show me that same little page that I just showed you a second ago. And you can kind of see the details, and this is how you track down orders. So this is the best place, is the place where you come to, like, you start wherever you initiated the transfer to take place, and go look at their withdrawal history, and you can look up, if they give you, once they give you a transaction ID, at that point for XRP, once they give you the transaction ID, just go ahead and click over here. It'll pop up. It's that quick. For a Bitcoin, they'll give you a transaction ID, and you can go click over here. It'll show you this kind of a page. It'll be a different website. It won't be BitHump because this is only for XRP. But there's like a blockchain explorer website for for Bitcoin and Ethereum or whatever. And it'll say, like, in process and only 2 confirmations of, like, 30 confirmations or whatever it is. But it has to go through a certain amount of confirmations before it's been confirmed and sent over to your account. So the process is a little different and a little longer. XRP is instant. The moment they initiate the transfer on Binance's side, that's it. It's going and it's done and it's instant. You see the printout here. When you're doing a Bitcoin or Ethereum or some of the older guys, then it's going to take a little longer. So when you click on a site like this and look at the transaction ticket, it's actually going to say, like, processing and only so many confirmations have taken place and it hasn't been confirmed yet, and you won't see it just yet, and it just takes a little bit of time. Or some will show it and say pending or something like that. So that's kind of how this goes. All right. So initiate it all, and then that's your way of just hang out, wait, be patient. It's going to be okay. And then look out for the transaction ID. You can track down the transaction. You can make sure that the ledger took place. You can go look at your ledger account, and because remember, this can be hooked up to your ledger. I mean, what I'm looking at right here can be, you can just click on Add Account up there at the top right-hand corner, and you can just add your ledger account over here and manage everything and send and receive and do all. You see my Flare address was set up for this account, and everything like that. So you can really work with your XRP ledger account right here on xrptoolkit.com. So you just got to get it set up over here. And once I get to that point where I have my ledger set up personally, then that's when I plan to show you that whole video. But I have to kind of assume for a moment you at least understand how to connect your ledger up and open up your XRP app and see what, and click on receive and see what your public address is. And then you can copy that public address and you can post it around and you can send things. And that's what you would end up using in one of your exchanges to get coins into that ledger or someone else's ledger. So if you wanted to buy someone crypto, you wanted to buy some person crypto, and they have an XRP account, they have a ledger, they have something like that, well, you can just ask for it and say, hey, if they have like Coinbase already and you have Coinbase, well, then just either send some crypto or XRP into your Coinbase exchange account using the tag and everything, and then you can just, from there, you can send it over to them because, you're on Coinbase's platform. They'll know who they are. You can look them up in the address book, and you can kind of send and receive that way. Or you can just send it straight to them, but, just ask them what it is. Or you can create a paper wallet, something like that, so you can create like a new... the way that you need to think about a paper wallet or something like that is just like you create a new private account, a new private Ethereum address or a Bitcoin address or an XRP address, a new one, and then you own, you have the private keys to it, you're not on an exchange, and then you just take some, what I just showed you, and you send some crypto, some coins, some XRP, if you will, into that account. It's brand new, you own the keys, and then just hand the keys, the address, the private key and the public key, over to the person that you want. Anybody you want. You can write it on a piece of paper. You can text it to them. I don't really suggest that. You can buy them a ledger and have it set up for them and just drop it in there yourself. But literally a paper wallet is just that. It's writing down the secret key to the address that you've just set up and handing it to them and letting them take it and then go import it into a Zoom app or something like that. Ledger, you can't import keys, which is that really pissed me off when I found that out. But you can't import keys. You can just have them create keys. And there's a reason why, I get it, but at the same time, I'm not really a big fan of it. I wish you could import keys. So if you do a paper wallet, then you're going to have to do it outside of the Ledger ecosystem. Otherwise, you're going to have to know what their Ledger XRP account or Bitcoin account address is, and you're going to have to send it straight to it. Or buy them one and put it in there is the only other way to do that. Otherwise, you've got to do an offline account, which then you would have to kind of import into an app like Zoom, which is the best now. I mean, there used to be Toast Wallet and a couple others, but really Zoom is probably the best. And I'll put a link in the bottom of the description. So that's really how you do this. This is how you send and receive. I hope that was helpful. I even got to kind of go through the process of like, what is going on with my money? It's just sitting in no man's land right now, which is totally normal and totally acceptable and totally fine. And I totally see where you're coming from. And depending on which coin you're trying to send around, it can get even a little bit more hairy. I mean, you'd be excited that when you're sending XRP, it's instant. So once the exchange initiates it, it's done. Bitcoin, you're going to have to wait. And that becomes an even scarier process of like, oh, God. I remember the first times I ever did that, and that was just like sitting on pins and needles trying to figure it out. I never had a video. This is years ago. I just kind of was doing it in my room one night. Oh, God, that was a terrifying moment when I didn't know how transaction IDs worked. I didn't know that you could go look any of this up. I had no idea about any of it. I just was, oh, cool, I've got some of this stuff, this digital stuff, and I'm going to send it around. Cool, you know? That's essentially how that worked. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I always think of things that I want to put in there afterwards, so I apologize, and I'm going to try to make updates to these videos if I can, but I think that was a good starting point for the night. So let me know if you have any other questions. Put some comments down below, and please subscribe and like and do all the fun stuff like that. Till next time.